Hello and welcome to episode 167 Field Home Farm Sessions on V-Day, Valentine's Day. Now that is my brand new phone, the Samsung 25. It's a little bit louder than the other one, so I haven't 100% figured out this phone yet. I gotta Google something and YouTube something. So what I talked about today was obviously the snow in my area is insane. A little bit about Sutton Gym, a little bit about KJ. Had a good conversation with her the other day. And my wife's birthday and the old Valentine's Day. Now, Valentine's Day for some can be say it's made up. If you're a romantic, it is one of the best days ever. Now, my wife's off the chocolate, so we're not getting her any chocolates because that's just not. And got her some mysteries on. Got her some flowers, and I don't know why there's no roses available, but well, I guess not in Walmart. There's no roses, so I got her some flowers. Got her card, and it's her birthday yesterday. As I said before in previous podcasts, when I started going out with her, I found out her birthday was February 13th. I said, "Can I get you just one gift for Valentine's Day and your birthday?" And she said no. So I get her a card, which I'm looking right now at the card. I got to fill it out. I haven't been in there yet because I've been friggin' plowing snow yesterday morning and this morning. And we got it probably yesterday, the night before, we got about 1.5 feet. So I did that all yesterday. You got to get the laneway cleaned out when you have chickens or kids or cows. Propane came yesterday to fill up the tank, and then the feed truck called me today and said, "Is your lane plowed out?" And I said, "I'm working on it." So I got 90% of it cleaned out. It's one of those years. It's insane. It's like an old fashioned winter where you get snow like crazy. It's not melting. Usually you have a melt day. Talking to Sutton Jim, mystery like this. Sutton Jim, I had to go get some peroxide, so I stopped into his place. And he dairy farm. Jimmy likes to complain about a lot of stuff, but he's got a great place, great family, great kids, great tractors. He's a John Deere fanatic. But he was complaining about the snow, and I'm starting to get a little bit shitty on the snow too. It was nice at the first, and now it's starting to get a little bit off. If you can't go snowmobiling, you can't go skiing because of other commitments like chickens. Roscoe, Emmett, and Mister I never even looked up. KJ says I get too distracted, as you know, right this second, if I look up at my screen. So I'm not gonna look up at my screen too much. So I say if you don't have time to go sledding, if you don't have time to go snowmobiling and skiing and all that other stuff, then you're not a big fan of the snow. But Roscoe, you will not be pruning trees today. I highly doubt it. So on my drive to get the peroxide, I called KJ because she was listening the other day, and I said let's just have a talk. She doesn't want to come on as a guest, much like my other guests are on right now. Other people are listening right now, but just talking about George Wood's house and all the people that live there and all the fun and who we know and how we know each other. And then we got on about 4-H, and I was Googling it, and it doesn't really give you when the government stopped, I guess you could say the word subsidizing the 4-H, but I think it was around the 2000 is what I kind of figured from all my reading. Year 2000, the government took away their funding from 4-H, and now you pay for it yourself, which is fine. But if they give money away to other things, 4-H is a very good thing they should invest in for the young youth. So Sutton Jim, I get back to my other stuff. I get distracted. So Sutton Jim, if you know him, he's John Deere fanatic. So he says, "Come look at this." He built a new house with his chicken barn. I know he built a man. I guess you'd say a man cave or in his basement. So before we go to the basement, go in the garage. He just bought. I said, "Holy shit!" It's one of those old square body Chev trucks, 1985. And he said he got it from a guy. He brought it up from Virginia. No Bondo on it, like amazing truck. Started it up, and I guess it was one of the things he loved a lot, so he got one of those. And then we have to tour, see his lovely wife Carol again. She is baking cookies and doing lots of stuff. Carol is busy, busy, busy. So is Jim. Go down to his basement. It's like a John Deere, uh, just a John Deere crazy. He's got tractors from when he was a kid. Roscoe said he snowmobiled to Creemore yesterday. Oh, Roscoe, thanks for the call. I had a meeting yesterday with me. So he's got John Deere tractors, he's got John Deere posters, John Deere fridge, John Deere, everything to do with John Deere, and then everything to do antique old dairy farm stuff like old cream separator and butter maker, butter turner. old weigh scale, and like most people have an old weigh scale, old farm weigh scales in your coffee table in the middle of the room. And the whole house, he's got pine floor. Just it's a beautiful house. Now, if you know Jim, he's particular about every little tiny thing, and it shows because everything that he had was awesome. So that is Sutton Jim, and he shipped chickens the other day too. So he said that went pretty good. He had to clear the snow out, which is what I got to do. I got to keep checking to see if my feed truck's coming, but he's not coming. So Sutton Jim, chat with KJ. Now KJ is coming up next week to the Simcoe County Holstein is hosting the Ontario Holstein branch, and that's where the annual meeting is. I'm not part of that anymore, so I don't usually check it off on my calendar to do. And I think it's in Barrie. And she said we're going to stop by for a beer. And I said, well, my chickens go out that day. They go out 2 days this time, the Sunday night and the Monday night. So I said it might be. We'll see, KJ, but it's always awesome to see her. Sons, I got my son's hockey. So they lost the other night. I guess I haven't talked to you for a couple of days. They lost the other night. I got to be more like Roscoe. Get apple trees. My son's hockey, they lost the other night. Now, it was a clusterfuck. We had too many men on the ice. Now, it was more I look after the defense door because my son plays defense, so the forwards were going on. There was like 4 forwards all the time. It was crazy, and we I think they said we beat this team before, but I don't remember. So we lost that game. We play tomorrow night. It's the second 2 out of 3 for the playoffs, and my son doesn't really care. He got a good penalty. He doesn't seem that concerned whether they win or lose, which is a good attitude. So he got a penalty. He was kind of happy. He was kind of happy about that. He was kind of upset the other kid didn't get a penalty because they were both kind of going for the puck, and then he kind of tripped him, but not really. So I was going to say too. I was going to talk about governance, but we'll see. Lots of snow. I was going to say that. So there's snow blowing all the time. So you got 1.5 feet. I started with that. And then plowed that all yesterday. Went to a Floridale feed meeting. I'm not with Floridale, but it was a chicken meeting, so I thought I'd go. And saw Jim Patton, he's a crazy guy out near Everett. Tons of broiler breeder chicken barns. He does the Straw Boss now. I don't know how many acres of land, probably 10,000 acres of land. I'm not sure, but insane amount of. There's a school messenger. I don't know what they're calling me about. They're calling me to say my kids aren't going to school. I said, really? Another snow day, 2 snow days in a row, for fuck's sake. So yesterday, I understand. I think that actually the schools were closed in Simcoe County. Like the teachers didn't even go. But today, I have no idea why they didn't have the buses running today. Like it's not bad out there at all. So yesterday, I plowed the snow, came back. The snow blew in all in the laneway again. So it was just I had to do it again today. Last night, my daughter played hockey. Now, she scored a goal, but their team did not win again. Now, the best thing about this is they're almost done. So they got one more game left in the season, and then they start the playoffs. And I found out last night they're probably going to play the first place team because we're the last place team. And me and another parent were saying, like, holy crap, like it's a guaranteed loss. And they said, well, there's got to be some advantage for the top team for the regular season to mean anything. But I said, true, I get that part of it, but they could split it up into 2 groups and have have the top group play each other and the bottom group play each other, like the bottom 4 teams, because we have no friggin' chance at all against this hockey. But like I said, positive side, it's almost done. Roscoe, Mystery, do you have a romantic Valentine? Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my Valentine? KJ is on also. KJ, I was kind of talking about you a little bit before, but just that we were talking on the way to when I was getting my peroxide, and then you'd say, I got to go, and then all of a sudden we start another story, and you start another story, and we just kept talking and talking and talking. I was distracting you, but it was great to just talk to people once in a while. Texting is good, but it's not great because you don't get to talk to people and hear them laugh and everything else. LOL on a friggin' phone is just not the same. So, Mystery, he won't tell us if he has a Valentine because he's a mystery. Roscoe's got a Valentine, I know that. Emmett's got a Valentine. KJ, everybody. Now, I go way back when. I think in high school, Valentine's Day doesn't mean that much, but in public school, you're always wanting that little heart, the little you used to have an envelope in the front of your desk and you see how many Valentine hearts you got I think I only got 2 or something like that. But I was just not as cool a kid as Mystery was when he was in public school. So I was gonna do my governance experience, seeing that I'm only a couple weeks away until I get to be a director. So I said, "There's governance and everything." It could be a boring part of the show, but I'll try to liven it up with my talking. it's So governance. I think the first part of governance was in 4-H. So you have your president, your vice president, secretary. Everybody loves to do fucking secretary and everything. So 4-H, and then you got school. You got the president too. So that's where you start your governance. Junior farmers, you always have governance. You have your president, your vice chair, and all those other things, and a secretary too in junior farmers, and a treasurer too. So school committees, and then I got on to GenCorp. Never really got when you're dairy farming, and much like Emmett Foster there, you're not really getting into many boards because you're so busy all the time. Twice a day milking. Now robots is a bit different. Emmett doesn't have a robot yet, but they're a bit different. That you have a little bit more time for yourself and for your family, but they still got to be there, so you don't have as much time to be in governance. You have to have another person, and I might need another person on the chicken farm too. I asked my wife. I said, "Oh, Mystery. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what. I think it's just a. I think I do have to sign something because there's a confidentiality agreement that you have to do because when you're in meetings and stuff like that, there's stuff you talk about that doesn't get talked about anywhere else. The same as lots of places, lots of government, lots of other things. So you have to do that, and so also on GenCorp, I was not on anything, but there's a whole governance part of GenCorp. I was a delegate with them. It was not the most best experience in governance in GenCorp, and I was on the Simcoe Holstein Club for 1 year. And the biggest thing with Simcoe at the time, and it doesn't really matter if I say it, so they wanted to move. They had their Simcoe County show, and everybody used to show like crazy, show cows. They used to have it in Barrie, and then they got in a fight with the Barrie Fair Board, so they moved it to Collingwood. So from my place to Collingwood was probably 45 minutes, and when you're milking cows and you're taking feed up, you want to show a cow, it's kind of very time consuming, and my dad did not want to do that. So I got on the committee to try to get the show back to Barrie, and we were not successful, and it got voted out, and I just said, well, screw you, I'm off that board. So I was done with that. On that again, just for KJ. And got on to Gay Lee in 2018, and that's where my first experience of that I really enjoyed governance, because Gay Foods looked after you. They took you out for dinner, and then they had meetings and training, and you got to talk and socialize, as well as getting stuff done and directing the company into a way that the farmers wanted. And that's where I started to really enjoy governance. And at the same time, I got onto the chicken governance with as a DCR, and like a typical me, I did not take it serious at first. And the director we had at the time, I think I was in, we had a meeting. I'm like, whatever. And we were at Great Wolf Lodge with my family. We're on the way back, and my director says, "Are you coming to the meeting?" I said, "No, we're on our way to Great Wolf Lodge." So I never, I never did. And then after that, I started taking it serious. Started having a little more social. Hubie Jen, got to know her. You got to meet the people and have lots of fun. Another guy, I'm not going to mention his name, I used to have fun with all the time, and just you socialize, and you get to do stuff. You put the business with the pleasure, and it makes business a lot more fun when you enjoy doing it. So now as a director, I don't think I can say tons of stuff on here, but I'm just going to do all my other stuff. Snow days, and all my boys and all my girls, KJ and Hubie Jen, and BC girl give me a picture of out west, and there is not a snowflake anywhere. Her yard is as green, and I think she's near Abbotsford. Crazy, crazy weather. Holy shit, look at time. 14 and a half minutes. Got to get going because I got to get the snow done. Got to take the chickens, do that. And then I got to talk to the board director. Got to see what's happening with him. So got to lay out what's going on in the future. Thanks for listening, everybody. KJ Roscoe. Call me when you want to freaking go snowmobile. Snow's going to be gone. God,